You are so in good company.
Oh, God.
You are in such good company.
Okay, wait.
Yes. That's the best reaction I've ever gotten from that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that's over with.
Welcome to the Ever Forward Podcast, your friendly backyard hangout by artists for artists. I'm Tackett.
And I'm Mair Mulroney.
That was me being seductive to the camera. Did you like that?
Yeah, but for people who are listening to the audio version, they're just going to think that the sound...
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
For those of you guys who are not watching at home, he is winking at the camera, and it is unsettling.
Okay. I thought I was doing sexy eyes, and sexy eyes, I might add, that got you into this studio.
Let me tell you something, buddy. Okay? Listen.
Tell me something, pal.
You know what's the sexiest thing about you is not having to try.
What do you mean?
Just it's aura. You know, you give aura.
Thanks.
You aura heart. I'm going to stop. I don't know.
She's out here auraing around.
Aura farming.
Aura farming.
I can't. 6, 7. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Don't do that.
I won't.
Don't do that.
I can't.
Don't do that. We were at the we went to the Rose Bowl this past weekend.
Yeah.
And one of the
Players.
cameras grabbed a shot of the player's jersey, and he was a lineman, so his number was 6'7".
Oh, man.
And as soon as it popped up on the screen, I saw like half the audience stand up and go 6'7". So stupid. You know what's funny too, and it's not funny, maybe it's sad, is that we had, every little generation has their sayings and things like that. Mm-hmm. We're actually at the age now where if we say those things like 6'7" or any of those kind of things, we're old enough now that it's cringy when we do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
No.
we're those grown-ups.
Yeah, because it's dumb.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
we do it or just in general?
In general, it's dumb.
Oh, yeah.
It's dumb, and we don't. Here's the thing: the reason why it's considered "quote unquote" cringe when we do it is because we don't feed into how dumb it is. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like the smile people. You know, when they do like the TikToks and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like that fake smile. Like if I do it,
Notice me, senpai.
Yes, if I do it, it's gonna look dumb because I'm not gonna feed in.
I don't know that. I don't know. Here, try it. Give me your best.
No,
Do it.
no.
Do
I
it.
don't believe in it.
Do
I can't
it.
find the artistic value in it.
A real artist could find a way to connect to anything.
No, I don't believe that.
So show me okay, so you're walking in, you're auditioning for world-renowned, much-loved director, Tackett, and you get brought in and you're supposed to play the ultimate,
I wouldn't get this role. Let's move on from this. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. I put passed.
spoken like a true coward.
I passed the audit. I passed on that one.
You didn't confirm?
No.
No?
Mm-mm. How you been, baby?
Been okay.
Yeah, just okay.
No, I've been good.
We backlogged a bunch of episodes, so we haven't actually sat in here and just hung out, you and I, like this in a minute.
I know, it feels weird. Like I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to talk about.
We had God, has it been? It's been a month
Since we actually sat and shot one?
Well, it's been a month since your mom came into town.
That's
we had
right.
a huge birthday blowout for you.
We did. We
Yeah.
did. You threw together a really, really great surprise birthday party for me. It was, I had my 35th birthday.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm officially in my mid-30s. Loving it.
You look great.
Yeah, you think so? I shaved.
You do.
It's the first time I've been barefaced in a minute. Not barefaced, like barefaced, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, hit my mid-30s. We brought it in right. You threw a big surprise party. Had my best and oldest friend, Carmi, and his wife come into town. Lori, they came
I'm
in.
proud of this. Can I tell him? Can I tell him what I did?
Yeah. Tell me.
I did a good.
Tell
I
the
did
folks.
A good one.
You did good.
All right. Sorry, I'm finding my foot. I was real tired. All right. I'm getting back into it. All right. So his best friend and his mom. They wanted to come into town. They live in different states. Mom is hitting me up and she's like, I have an idea for Tyler's birthday. And I was like, I do too. And she goes, okay, let's have a call. What is it going to be? And we both said pretty much at the same time, you should come out here. And she's like, okay, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
So we decided we'd throw a boat party for him on my parents' boat.
Yeah.
And your mom would come surprise you, even though, were you surprised? You were surprised, yeah?
You know what it was is I was, it just wasn't even on my radar that mom would show up.
Okay, good.
Or anything like that, or really anything, because we had we had a lot going on, and I actually, the day of my birthday, I was working. I was doing rehearsals for a movie, and so it just wasn't even on my radar. I figure we'd probably meet up on the boat, have some drinks, have a nice dinner, and call it a day. And little did I know that you guys had been plotting behind the scenes. So I come out to the marina after.
Oh, wait. No.
Oh, that's right. There was a whole lead-up day before this. I'm skipping all over.
So
Jesus, you're right.
The day of the birthday is your mom.
Yeah.
The day before.
That one got me too. Yeah, go ahead.
His best friend and his wife, who live in Colorado, we live in LA, hit me up and they were like, hey, we're going to come into town. Why don't you give us Tyler's address? And we're just going to show up there. And I was like, I think he's working. What time are you guys getting in? I wouldn't just show up. I wouldn't just show up there. So we plotted a little bit, and I was like, okay, cool. We'll make it seem like I'm gonna cook him take him to Trader Joe's and make him this really nice breakfast, right? And because I was like, I don't think he wants to go out to eat. I think he wants a home cooked thing. And they were like, all right, cool. We'll meet you at Trader Joe's. So you were just shopping with me in Trader Joe's.
Yeah, we walked in. I wasn't thinking anything of it, and I'm looking at.
Bacon.
Was that what it was?
Bacon.
Nice. That's a good way to distract me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and I feel this tap on my shoulder and I turn around and it's Carmi, but you know how you're you get surprised. It caught me so off guard that I couldn't even my brain couldn't even process his face.
He came in aggressively.
Yeah, it sounds like Carmi.
That was also, I saw him in my peripheral vision, heading up. And I was like, you're coming in too hot, man. Coming in too hot. Because I didn't want you to swing on him. That's what I thought was going to happen. Because he did one of these, hey, and he grabbed your shoulder. And I was like, oh no. And you turned around and I was like, all right, he's going to be in defense mode.
Yeah, so. that's what I would do. Yeah. That's my stance. Okay. No, he scared the shit out of me. And it was just it just caught me off guard. And so we spent the whole day with them and that was great. And so I figured we'd all meet up on the boat and hang out. And then we got there, and you had me kind of blindfold myself as we were walking up to the dock. And walking the plank, yeah. And I could hear music, but again, I don't know, I just wasn't even thinking. And I walked down the ramp and take the thing off, and all along the boat.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did.
We should have hung them up. You guys had made cutouts, a stringer cutouts of my face with a birthday hat, and they were strung all along the outside of the boat. Our buddy Mark was on the bow of the boat with his guitar and his DJ kit, just giving me my own personal WWE entrance as I'm coming down the ramp.
I was like, he's gonna be so uncomfortable.
No, it was great. I get down there, I'm like, oh my gosh, Mark's here, and I get on the boat and we go in the back, and your mama and you had set up this really nice lunch, and there was all these snacks and stuff like that. There were napkins with that same picture of me on it, which in retrospect that should have been the first giveaway that my mom was there, because it's a very my mom thing to do.
Yeah.
But we get in there and I'm giggling all this, and then Carmi and Lori pop out of somewhere. I'm like, oh geez, there you guys are. And then Tim, one of my other great friends, pops out, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And so it's, we walk around to the front of the boat. I'm going up there to say hi to Mark, and sure enough, I turn the corner and there's my mama standing on the boat. And ended up having this really amazing party. Took the boat out on a cruise while Mark is giving us a soundtrack and just rocking acoustic guitar. And you had gotten my playlist from Spotify, given it to Mark, and so Mark was playing live guitar to my playlist as we were going around growing around the marina, and we were drinking and just having a hell of a time. It was incredible. Oh, and then as if the napkins and the stringers along the sides weren't enough, Mom had figured out or found a place that would make temporary tattoos.
Yep.
And that same picture just of my face, making a goofy face with a birthday hat on, she got made into temporary tattoos. I'm looking around. Everybody's got tattoos of me on them. So much so that even your mom went and put a tattoo of me right in between her boobs.
Uh-huh.
And then Tim gave himself a tramp stamp. There was just did you put it on your cheek? No, it was on your shoulder.
It was on my shoulder.
It was on your shoulder. Someone had it on their cheek. It may have been Carmi.
I think that was Lori.
Was that Lori? Oh, it was Lori. It was Lori. It was Lori. Yeah, it ended up being great.
We gotta cut in some of that footage. We'll put some footage in here.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was great. It's probably one of the greatest birthdays I've ever had. It was really, really beautiful, really fun, really emotional. I typically get really uncomfortable with that kind of attention, which seems weird considering what I do. But when it's that kind of attention on you for like a birthday or something like that, where you are the center of attention in that way, I always get really uncomfortable.
Well, you're with the okay. Tell me if you can relate.
Okay,
I feel like I don't mind getting the attention when I am bringing something to the table, and by that I mean like, look at this performance that I did for you guys, or look at this thing that I did for you guys. Like, I earned your love. Yes. Yes, I earned it.
yes.
If you just give it to me freely and are like, no, you don't have to do anything. We just appreciate that you exist. I don't
trust it. Yeah, I don't trust it. No, no, that's not that. I don't bring enough value in that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is, truthfully. But no, it was great. It was really, really great. So we we brought in 35. That's been going on, and we've just been working a lot.
Hustling, yeah.
We've been hustling. We've got a couple little projects coming down the pipeline, some really exciting stuff, top of the year, ever forward, really.
Projects, actually.
Kind of pretty big.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe potentially international. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, the world's our oyster. And I don't even like oysters.
I love oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They taste like snot.
They don't. You're just not the texture, maybe, all right, but they don't taste like snot. And you got to put
snot rocks.
You got to put lemon juice and Tabasco on it, and then you know.
I guess we used to when I worked at actually both of the restaurants I had worked at, last two restaurants I worked at, nicer spots, and they were real big on their oysters. The last one I worked at, Davenport's in Encino, go check it out.
Maybe should we go there sometime? I would like to go there for dinner. Or no, you don't want to go there. You left on a not good note. Is this correct? Yeah.
I wouldn't say I left on a not good note. It might just be a little awkward.
Okay.
Because I was already kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, kind of. And then I booked that movie in Cyprus and basically was like, hey guys, I'm going to Cyprus for a month. And when I come back, I don't know if I'll be coming back here. And it wasn't like I was trying to be a dick and not give 2 weeks notice, but it all kind of happened really fast to the point where I couldn't.
You had just been in Ohio filming right before that, and right before that, you dyed your hair.
That's right.
You cut your hair into a mohawk and dyed it blue and purple.
Yeah, they weren't stoked about that.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair because it's like this really nice like suit and tie kind of place, and I'm walking around in a peacock mohawk.
I think it's great.
I loved it. I'm trying really hard to grow the hair back out, but
I love your long hair, but I do.
I kind of want to bring the mohawk back.
That mohawk. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was very aerodynamic.
Yeah.
It made me run a lot faster, just cutting through the wind.
Yeah.
Ooh, the hedgehog?
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course. So that was going on. And then, well, shit, dude, what else have we been getting into? Everything feels like such a blur.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know something? You want to tell the people something not fucking awesome your boy had to deal with lately? I'll tell them. Don't worry. Your boy had to fight for some of his money he was owed from a production. That feels like something important to talk about.
It wouldn't be like the type of production that, I don't know, potentially was slightly, I don't know, were there water things involved?
There's a lot of things involved. And I got to have the experience. I can't believe this in all the years that I've worked in this business. And I've gone through some nonsense. I've never really had to chase people down for my money to that degree, especially when it's something that is, I don't know, a union project.
Yeah.
So not unheard of, and things happen, and paperwork gets things, but that's not what this situation was. I had to chase some folks down for a good amount of money they didn't want to pay me.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty exciting thing that I've been dealing with lately. Got it all sorted out, but goodness gracious.
Helped, right?
It did. It did. I'm back and forth on the union thing sometimes. But I will say when it counts, it's a really good thing to be a part of, because it was so funny. Like I was talking to one of the producers for a minute about the money thing, and then they didn't get back to me, and they just started ghosting me, right?
Like you reached out several times with no response.
Yeah, they just like straight up ghosted me. And this is 2 months after I had filmed the project and still hadn't been paid.
Yeah.
And you boys got bills coming up. And so I went to SAG and I filed a claim. I shit you not, bro. Like 20 minutes after I hit send on that email, my phone started blowing up from one of the other producers and the director and all this shit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
It's like, oh, how did it all of a sudden remind you?
Weird. Being all like super like chummy with me and stuff. It was so irritating.
Well, it's annoying because it's like, look, I've been emailing you guys.
Don't take me around.
This. You know this, but as soon as the union inquires about it, then there's a problem.
Yeah. It was just kind of lame. It bummed me out because I don't want anybody's like project not to get done. I'm on your team, you know, like I want to accept, but fucking dude.
But you better, they got to be on your team too.
Yeah.
You know? Otherwise.
It just goes to show that even on these like bigger things, sometimes like they, you know, shit like that still happens. You gotta keep an eye on that. So, word of advice: anything you ever work on, always save your contract. If you have a time card, always take pictures of it. If you have like an Exhibit G or G form or anything like that, take pictures, have all that, because your boy came with receipts and I was able to get my money. But if I hadn't have.
And don't be afraid to push back. Like if you, I don't know, there's always times where you like show up to a job and like maybe what you were told it was going to be or what you were booked like as your role and what your rate was, like for whatever reason on their paperwork that they give you, sometimes it will be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not. You know, you can say something. I've a couple of times, like especially when I was first starting out, I would be scared to say anything, and I'd be like,
of course.
Well, maybe they just, if it was an accident that they did that, then maybe they just don't want to book me in the first place, and I'm just lucky to be here.
Right.
Sometimes they'll try to scrape where they think that they can, and as long as you say something like they're not going to send you home for being like I was booked as something else, and if they do, that's a bigger problem for them to deal with. So
yeah, man, like in this particular situation, I was hired to be a stunt coordinator, and they wanted to have me just listed as a stunt performer. And had I been performing stunts, that'd be fine. But coordinating is a different job, and you want the credit for it. You want credit for the job that you do. So
absolutely,
it was just a thing. So
also a different rate,
different rates, just a lot of different things. And I just just not to put us on like a
it's not
fucking bummer.
We've got a great show today. It's so random, but like when we started doing this podcast, you had always wanted to, you're like, I think it'd be really great to bring on journeyman artists.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was kind of like, I don't know exactly what that means, right?
Right.
A lot of people who I work with are kind of somewhat young in the game a little bit, like maybe been doing it for like 5 years or something, just because the type of content that I work on, I'm usually booked a little bit below my age range. Also, I got in the game really young.
Right.
So I've been doing this. I'm considered a journeyman.
100%.
But it's rare that you find people out here where you're like, dude, you work with somebody, lose touch with them, whatever, or maybe you just follow each other on socials, but you see their journey, and you're like, man, that person's really doing something, and that's like you and I, you know, and all kind of like checking in, being like, dude, fucking good for you, like you're crushing it, and continuing to stay out here, because a lot of people, they don't make it past their first couple of years. You'll work with people, and you might see them around in auditions, and then you stop seeing them, and you know they give up, or they go home, or they different path in life, decide this isn't for them, whatever it is. But you see people kind of climb up the ranks, and it's really cool, especially when you both start, or all of you start down at nothing, right? So Evan's somebody who I worked with a long time ago on one of my very, very first commercials, and just thought he was super talented, super
Yeah.
talented, really in it for the art, and has just been continuing to hustle and like has done a bunch of really, really cool things. And I think we're going to see a lot more of him. So I'm excited to have a talk with him.
But I make these high heels work. Told you time and time again. I'm not as thick as you drunk I am. But we all walked down the sun came up.
Oh my God.
You guys, we have such a special guest with us today. I'm so excited. I haven't seen this guy in years. But this is Evan Sloan, you guys. He's a phenomenal screenwriter. He's an actor. You're a producer, too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you direct?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I do.
All
you gotta
around.
do a multi-hyphenate. You
Yeah.
gotta be.
And you were in the very first commercial that I ever, well, no, like second commercial that I ever booked in LA.
Mm-hmm.
For Purina.
Was it Purina, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a day that was.
Yeah.
What a day that
How long ago
was
was that? How long ago was that?
I honestly don't even remember. It must have been like eight
Or 9 years
Eight
ago.
or 9 years, yeah.
Guys are getting old.
My God,
Right?
it's been that long.
It had, well, I ran into you in Hollywood a few years back.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was at Mark's. We went to Tony Trejo's to get some tacos.
Get some tacos.
And
As you should.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we were passing the street and I was like, Evan! What up? And you're like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I can only imagine you in that scenario walking down Hollywood, mind your own business, and then someone calls you out by name.
Yeah, you know what though? I will say I spent a lot of years in Hollywood, like living there, and so that was like a normal occurrence for me, to be honest with
Okay.
you. So
Yeah.
hearing my name called out in Hollywood is not
Yeah.
like a normal, not like a not normal thing.
You're like, I knew that they would know me on the streets of Hollywood. I just didn't know it was going to be like this.
Right?
Literally.
Not like this. So
Yeah.
you are a multi-talented man. We were
Thank
actually
you.
talking about this off air, and you kind of mentioned it just a second ago. But nowadays, you can't really just be an actor anymore.
Yeah.
I guess some people can, but nowadays, between even just the way actors have to do auditions, you kind of have to become a little bit savvy on
Yeah.
how to make a film, how to edit a little bit, lighting. You should have
Yeah.
a little bit on it. So now, I don't know how you feel, but whenever people ask me what I do in the industry, because I'm stuntman, actor, writer, producer, etc., I'm just like,
Brag about it.
actually, I will.
No, you should. Please brag about it.
Well, if I must. No. So you get to the point where you're just like, I'm a filmmaker. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you just say I'm a filmmaker, and
Yeah.
that I like specialize in X, Y, and Z. But I'm curious because we haven't met. We met moments ago. I know you guys have some history, but
Yeah.
I'm curious, like what came first? Like what sort of art form were you drawn to first?
Well, I mean, acting for sure.
Yeah.
Acting was the thing that got me here. When I was in college, I was studying film in college.
Okay.
And, we had to do all sorts of things. We had to direct, we had to light, we had to edit, we had to do cinematography. We got a really good, well-rounded education of like what
Is this in Jersey?
Yeah, in Jersey.
Got it.
FDU, shout out.
Hey.
No, but we did get a good, like well-rounded, I guess like crash course into what each position does on set, which I thought was a great thing to learn
Absolutely.
at a young age, because then like any set that I would eventually get to, I could have a conversation with anybody who was there, and like an informed conversation, which I think is important also.
Right.
But yeah, so I was studying that, and I moved out to Los Angeles in 2010, and I was doing an internship out there and just doing whatever I could to figure out like how do I get an audition? How do I do this? How do I do that? And so, yeah, acting was the first thing that sort of like, piqued my interest in the industry just in general.
Did you always like growing up? Did you always know like that was something you were drawn to? Like what was like childhood like? Like first, so you're from Jersey.
Yeah.
Siblings? No siblings?
Yeah. I got two older brothers.
Two older,
I was the
two older
youngest.
brothers. You're the
Yeah,
baby.
I'm the baby.
Do the older brothers have any interest in the arts whatsoever?
No.
Oh, you're the weirdo.
Actually, well, I will say the middle brother was big into drawing and like painting some stuff. Not painting as much, but drawing he was big into for a while when he was in like high school.
Uh-huh.
But then that went out the door, and he was more focused on like the culinary arts and stuff. So
Oh, yeah, it's still so it's still in there.
Still in there for sure. But yeah, my parents know there's no creative like thing there. Not my aunts and uncles, nobody.
Really?
Yeah, I was the only person
Where do
really
you
that
think it
jumped
came
into
from
it.
then? Where was it? You know what? Do you think it was because you were youngest and like growing up you felt the need to kind of perform to like get the attention maybe? Or like, I'm just curious like where that would come from, how it manifests in you.
I think maybe that's part of it. I think definitely as the youngest, when my brothers were like fighting each other, I always felt like I had to be the peacekeeper. So I had to be the good kid when they were bad.
Deflect with humor.
Yeah,
Make people laugh so they don't fight.
For sure. That was me when I was younger. But I think also it was just really impressionable when I was younger. So big into movies and TV. And one of the big things for me growing up was professional wrestling.
Bro, you are so in good company.
Oh, God.
You are in such good company.
Okay, wait.
Yes. That's the best reaction I've ever gotten from that.
We have the sketch now.
Oh, let's go.
Great. Let's go.
A sketch that we have to do.
Let's do it. I'm so down.
Do you off air.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm such a wrestling nerd. I was the same way growing up.
Yeah.
Such a wrestling nerd. And then I got out of it, when I got into like high school and through my 20s, and then the last couple years I've like slowly started getting back into it.
I'm full blown back into it now. Yeah. I was the same way.
Who are you watching right now that you're really into?
I love Penta.
I
those
do
guys.
too.
Penta's amazing.
Bro, I just saw a thing. I think he got
hurt. Yeah, he got hurt last night.
Penta's a luchador that came in probably about a year and a half ago. So the masked wrestler.
Yeah. I know what a luchador is.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I have been dragging her into WWE.
It's great.
Getting her to watch it.
The storytelling is what I love about it now.
I did a movie with some professional wrestlers, and I remember, and I feel bad now saying it. And she is very famous, a really sweet girl, and she was like. And I was like, why? Why?
Yeah.
And she was like, I just always liked theatrics. And she was very honest. She's like, I loved acting. I was very, very athletic. I wanted to be an actress, but I'm not a good actress. She goes, but this works for me.
Sure.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's like over dramatized, but really, truly, you do have to be a good actor to do that because you can't break character.
No.
Nope.
And
even when you're getting punched in the face or hit with barbed wire, and it's like what it is. It's a live stunt show with soap opera elements.
Yeah.
And just the feats alone that these people. Aside from the acting side of it and the promos and all that kind of stuff and keeping in character and all that kind of stuff, just the feats of athleticism these people go through. It's just, I'm such a nerd for it. I'm so happy you said that.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. No. And that was how a lot of that stuff started for me. So one of the things I would do is I would get my action figures, my wrestling figures, and I would okay, I'm going to make my Monday night show. I'm going to make my Thursday night show. I'm going to make my pay-per-view. I had storylines. I had all that stuff. And I think that's part of the reason I was able to tell concise stories. And what got me into wanting to tell stories is being able to have 15 different things happening at the same time and knowing exactly what each thing, involves. It was one of my favorite things about being a kid was getting into wrestling like that and then taking that into my adult years and how I've used it to learn how to tell stories.
It really is yes. Is it over the top by design? Of course. It's the closest thing to real life superheroes you're going to get.
Yeah, totally.
The bright colors, the costumes, the incredible physiques, the things that they do. It's superheroes. But because it is this over the top kind of storytelling, it almost feels like it highlights certain storytelling attributes or certain storytelling things that you have to hit. It's amplified so you can look at that and be like, oh, okay, this is the hero's journey of this and it's big, but now I can take that, I understand what it is. Now I can kind of modify it and tone it down a little bit, but it because it's so big and in your face, you can see those storytelling structures, so that actually makes perfect sense. Were your brothers, how much older are your brothers?
8 and 6 years older.
Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's
Did they watch
big
it with
gap.
you?
Yeah. You know what? No, they didn't. They watched a little bit of it when I was growing up, but I actually remember my first real moment where I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I do the quick story. So my brothers were taking care of me and my parents were out to dinner and we got a phone call that they were on their way and I was still up and I should have been get to your room, get to bed, the whole thing. And so they just put me in my room and I had this tiny little TV in my room. It was the smallest little thing. And they just turned it on. And what was on was I think it was the first appearance of Crow Sting. Yeah. And I was
That was
what
my favorite growing
am
up.
I watching? I could not stop watching. And then from that point on, like I would find it, eventually find it on TV and see that it was on. And that just like, oh man, right from a kid, it's like
that
threw
was
me right
like
into the world.
That was when it see,
Yeah.
That's funny you say that because I think Crow Sting was my thing. So
Crow Sting is the best.
Dude,
all-time favorite. All-time favorite. Yeah.
So Sting is arguably one of the GOATs, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Great. And when he first popped off on the scene in WCW, he was very much the golden boy. He had this bleach blonde hair and he like wore these really colorful tights and he would paint his face kind of like the Ultimate Warrior with like really colorful stuff, right? And he was like the golden boy.
Yeah.
And then there was this era in like the mid to late 90s when The Crow came out where he was like, I'm not going to talk anymore. He loses this whole good guy persona. He grows his hair out super long, dyes it black, and then he paints his face white like the Crow.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
And he went through a whole year where he didn't even speak, and he would just
never spoke.
He would come down from the rafters on a
art.
cable.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
guys, that's art.
It is.
It is art.
And
That's a character choice.
It is a character choice. Thank you.
But how cool is that, though, that it's like, because that's how it works. Like, he made such an impression on you. They kind of changed the course of
100%.
your life.
100% it did.
You know?
Who's your biggest inspiration?
His name is Steve Borden. I don't think you know who that is.
Steve Borden.
But yes, honestly, like it was a huge moment. It was a huge moment. Like I still remember it. You know what I mean? So so that really did take me into that world of telling stories. And it's honestly good versus evil is really what it comes down to. You know, wrestling is that.
All storytelling.
That's really what it is.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
life.
Yeah.
You know, the good guys versus the bad guys.
Yeah.
Depending on who's good and who's bad in the moment.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. Like it's such brash storytelling that like you can see a lot of the storyline gimmicks coming a mile away. And I guess like when you're younger and you're learning storytelling, that is kind of a great way for it to be like kind of in your face that these are the arcs that characters need to go on and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I never considered that, but I wonder if like watching so much wrestling growing up is one of the reasons I same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's so funny, man.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so you're going through this. When did you start thinking like I want to pursue like filmmaking? Was there like a movie? Was there a moment, or was it just something that kind of over time?
So I was always into acting. I always wanted to do it. I never went to like school for it. I never went to theater. I never did theater.
You're such a naturally incredible fucking actor.
I appreciate that.
You work with a lot of people over the years, you know, and it's very, very rare that there's one like somebody from something or you're like, that guy, man, or that girl, or like there's just something about them. There's something like because we stay in touch. I don't really keep in touch with anybody else from that shoot. That was such a long time ago. But it's like I love watching the journey because you're great.
I appreciate
you're fantastic.
that. Thank you very much for saying that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, it's true.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. That's why we stayed in touch the whole time. Like I felt the same way about you. Like I don't know. I got to this point where I was very shy growing up, like very, very shy. I didn't like to be the center of attention. I didn't like, I couldn't like talk to girls when I was younger. Like I had none of that. And I remember like my inciting incident, again, I use that all the time, but like my inciting incident for acting and for my career. I was in high school and I was taking a TV production class. And the reason I was taking that class was because people were like, it's easy A, all you do is watch movies. It's super easy. And I was like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Right. Especially in high school. I was like, please give me that.
Less. Yeah.
Exactly. So I joined. And of course, this was the first year that there was a legitimate teacher who has like, years of experience as a director and all this and all that. And so they were like trying to make this a thing. And I remember what they were, his name was Mr. I. I don't know if I talk about him all the time whenever I get a chance to do this stuff, but he had us like break off into groups and then had us like shoot a fake commercial or like some sort of fake little thing like in the class. And of course, he didn't want anybody who was friends to be working with each other. He wanted to see how everyone was. So he paired me with me being the shy kid with the captain of the football team and the captain of the cheerleading squad. Who were also taking it for an easy A.
Right.
Oh, and if you're shy, you're like the shy kid,
Oh,
like the
my
popular
God.
kid.
Literally. It was.
Sweating
I was petrified of what they were going to make me do. And sure enough, the idea that they had was for a KY jelly commercial. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And so they had me essentially like looking through a phone book for like a sex hotline or something like that. And then I had to like imitate that on the phone. It was honestly, I can say this truthfully, that was the most embarrassed I've ever been in front of anybody.
Really?
And it was the whole class, right? I was so embarrassed and it was like the scariest thing. And then we showed it to the class, and for the first time, the class wasn't laughing at me. They were laughing at what I was doing. They were laughing at the choices that I made in the scene. They were laughing at that stuff. And they like people come up to me like, dude, that was so funny. You were so good in that. And I was like, what's this feeling? That's a new feeling for me.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah.
I didn't, because like, you know, being the shy kid, being that, like I never wanted to be like the voice. I never wanted to be the person who would like, you know, step in front of the class and say something because I was always too shy. And now here I was getting this feedback that's like, no, we're not laughing at you. We're laughing because you're funny.
Yeah.
And I hadn't experienced that before.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And so now the funny thing is like anytime I get to do any sort of film or any sort of TV show, I'm like, I've already been the most embarrassed it can be. So bring it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
freeing,
I'm like,
right?
I don't care what it is. No.
Oh, bro. I
Yeah.
had an audition in New York years ago that actually Mair helped me with. And it was for like a Broadway thing. And I don't sing, I don't dance. I haven't done theater since high school, but it was a part that I really wanted. It was based on the Heroin Diaries, Nikki Sixx's book, and it's one of my favorite books. And it was one of those things that popped up that I was like, oh, this is destiny. You know, it was a dream role kind of thing. So it's going to work out. I don't know how it's going to work out. And I go to this audition, and long story short, didn't go well.
Sure.
It was a horrifying experience. I used like the last little bit of cash. Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head.
I've done those auditions in New York. You've
Yeah.
done them because
I have.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, totally is.
Yeah.
LA, they'll be like, okay, that was great. You know, New York, they will let you fucking know.
Yes, they will.
They will let you know that was dog shit.
Yeah.
And you like
they
want to
did.
cry and hide under a rock. They also
that too.
don't encourage you to get better.
Yeah.
Like in LA, they'll try to be kind to try and like hopefully you're just to get like, all right, get that awful takeout. Now try it again so that you can like get the nerves out, you know, and see if it gets better. In New York, like if you don't come with your A game first and foremost, they just because the competition. It's another game, man.
Yeah.
It is
Especially
totally
in like the Broadway world. Like again, that wasn't
Yeah.
my forte, but like you were saying, like I went in there and I crashed and burned so hard, and it was traumatic. I still wake up in a cold sweat sometimes.
Yeah.
If I hear the song "The Kill" by 30 Seconds to Mars, I'm like, that was the song I chose to sing for some reason.
Sure.
And "Dream On" by Aerosmith because that's an easy one to sing.
Yeah, for sure.
Crushed them both. But same thing after that, like after I went back and like kind of licked my wounds a little bit.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I'm kind of like that. I don't know how it could get much worse than that.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah.
and it kind of frees you a little bit. You're like, I'm still that sucked, but I'm still breathing.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way. I've never done it, but I've always wanted to try stand up, not for any like reason that I think it's something I'd be good at, but just because like standing on stage with a microphone, being that vulnerable and stuff, you do that once, you get booed off the stage once.
I have gotten booed off the stage before.
Really?
Have you
I
really?
have, yeah. I got I was a musician. I didn't get booed off the stage. I got booed on the stage. And this is kind of gangster actually.
Oh, yeah?
I love
Yeah.
this.
So I came up in music. So that was my
I think
first.
that's when I met you, right?
Yeah.
You were doing music. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was kind of on the verge of transitioning into acting a little bit, but I had been a musician and toured and stuff. And I was opening for Raekwon from Wu-Tang Clan.
Let's go.
That's so sick. Already a cool story.
Yeah.
And and he was so dope. He was really, really great. He had laryngitis.
Okay.
and was like, I want my set to kind of be as short as humanly possible because because he was not feeling good. And it was like, okay, so everybody who was opening for him got, a little bit of extra time. And he had a lot of rappers and stuff and DC people who were kind of known in that era. And Lily freaking White Girl comes out there and they want to see, and I'm like right before he comes on. So at this point, people are like, we just want Raekwon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
So this guy started booing me and I blacked out. I snapped and I don't know if I cursed him out or something happened where I was like, this is not happening to me right now. And I called him out and then I just put on a hell of a show. And he came up and gave me a high five after the.
Hey,
after
that a
the-
girl.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Raekwon gave me the biggest hug. And
That's
it was,
awesome.
That's so cool.
It was really cool. But it's those moments where it's your worst fear happens.
Yeah.
And then it's well, it can't get any worse than this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
You know?
still breathing.
Yeah.
Still
here.
breathing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, barely, but we're still here.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
after you get your, oh God, you know what full circle moment's going to be?
What?
You're going to book a KY commercial.
Oh
one
my
day.
God, I can't even imagine.
So funny.
It'd be hilarious,
Dude, that's
or
gonna be
or like a voiceover thing or something.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be
yeah.
hysterical.
That's gonna be the full
KY.
circle. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So did that after that, was it was a cork pulled and you were just something and you opened, or was it a slow progression?
It was a
thing?
slow progression.
Yeah.
I think because I wasn't ready to fully jump into any of that kind of stuff. I just was a new feeling. I liked how it felt, and it definitely opened me up a little bit more to, especially in that class of trying new things. And had I not taken that class, I don't know what I would have studied in college, which was filmmaking.
Yeah.
So because I had such a connection to that class, and then the next one that I took after that, it really started to bubble in me, and I was like, this is something that I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
And so because of that class and because of how I felt in that class, it took time for me to get there. But I jumped into it in college and went from there.
So whenever you told your folks, were they this is the path I want to pursue? Were they supportive? Were they thrown off? Were they?
No, they weren't thrown off. They knew that I was that kind of a kid.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So they were and have been the most supportive
That's so good.
parents I could have asked for.
That's so
That's
dope,
great.
man.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Even when it came time, did you come out to LA right after college?
Yeah. So I graduated college, and I think it was 3 weeks later I moved to LA.
Damn.
So what happened was too, it was interesting timing. So I was talking to this one website. It was a big website back in the day. It was called break.com.
Mhm.
And they used to post viral videos of the day.
I remember Break.
You remember Break?
I do
Yeah.
remember Break. Yes.
It was basically where you would go to find the viral videos of the day.
It was kind of early college humor or
Yeah,
something.
exactly,
Yeah. I
exactly.
do remember that.
Yeah. So I was talking to them for a while, and then I ended up reaching out to them. They were like, "Oh, we're looking for college ambassadors to go around campuses and do stuff." And so I was doing it, and then all of a sudden I got an email one day as a senior in college, and they were like, "Hey, if you want an internship, we'll give you an internship to come out and do it." And it was in Beverly Hills, and it was paying $10 an hour.
But it was a paying internship.
That's what I'm saying. It was a paying internship. And $10 an hour back then was not too bad.
Not too bad.
So I was like, okay. And then basically on literally the morning of graduation before I left, I got the offer letter through fax. which
Oh my
is
goodness.
Insane. I got the offer letter through fax, and before letting any of my friends know, I signed the paper saying I'm going to do this. So right even before I graduated, I was like, I'm coming out to Los Angeles. I'm going to go be an intern for this company and see what happens.
And not give yourself a chance to even talk
Yeah.
and think yourself. That's so
yeah,
dope.
I just
So
was like,
cool.
screw it, let's go for it.
That's amazing. I was kind of the same way, right? You just know. I remember driving back from Arkansas. We'd gone to Arkansas to visit my dad. I was with my grandparents and such. And we were driving back to Texas, where I was living at the time. And I was on the phone with my best friend who already lived out here. He wasn't pursuing industry or anything. He just happened to be out here. And I was talking to him, and he half jokingly was like, because I had been doing indie films and stuff in Texas, and it was kind of getting to that shit or get off the pot moment. And I remember him saying why don't you just come out here, dude? You're already doing like the thing. Why wouldn't you just come out here? And in just that moment, I said, okay. And I got off the phone with him, and I remember my papa was driving, Momo was right behind me, my Aunt Ellen, and I remember looking at him and just going, I think I'm going to move to LA. And my papa kind of like, I feel like he thought maybe I was joking or how serious. And then my Momo right behind me was like, like, oh, Tyler, you're not serious, are you? I was like, no, I think I am. Yeah. And then I shit you not, I worked at Olive Garden for like 6 or 7 months, and I was splitting time between Olive Garden and working as a photographer. Just scraping together as much cash as I could, and then just came out. Same thing. It's like, you don't want to, something in you is like, just tells you this is the move, and there's no real like thought behind it. It just seems like the natural progression of things.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was for me. It was like, it just felt like to me it was the next logical step.
Yeah.
Like I went to school for filmmaking. I did what I could do there. And then where the work was Los Angeles. I had an opportunity to go out there. I was going to I had a job. Like I didn't have a ton of I think I had like $3,000 saved up, and that was it. And I packed 2 bags and a computer, and I just moved out and was like, let's just see what happens.
Did you do the drive?
So great.
No, I flew.
Nice. That was a good move.
First time flying alone too.
Really?
Yeah, it was very much like, okay, here you go. You know what I mean?
Get out of the
go
fucking
do
nest.
it. Go figure it out. Yeah.
Isn't that the way to do it though? Like,
I think so.
We've all three. I know for sure. You, me, and now you. It's like we all had kind of that sort of moment, and I feel like there's a lot of people who get, I don't know, like either spoon-fed their way into this industry a little bit, or they do it, but they do it with some like safety nets and stuff like that, which is fine.
I think what it is I'm going to try it.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 5 years.
I'm going to give it a year and see and see, like, if I haven't made it by then. Someone said that to me on set the other day.
I can't stand that.
Was like, I was, and I was like, hey, you got some good acting chops, older guy. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to give it a year, see where it takes me. And I was like, you ain't gonna make it.
No, dude, you can't.
You can't put a time. We can't put a time crunch on it.
You can't be half in, half out, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a difficult industry, and you know that. Like, going in, everybody says that, but the levels of difficulty and the ways that it's difficult, you don't anticipate, or at least I didn't anticipate. Because I had done, like I said, some indie films in Texas and stuff, and I had a vague idea of what being on a very low budget indie film set was like, but living in LA, the auditions, the lifestyle, the learning how to change into your waiter clothes, driving with your knee on the 405, to make a shift, or like all these like little nuanced things that go along with it that are actually the reason. Forget like breaking in, whatever the fuck that means. Like all that other stuff that you can't really be prepped for, and that's not something. I don't know if they prepped you guys in school for like what it. See,
no.
Was that kind of a culture shock because you knew the data kind of like filmmaking and stuff like that, but the lifestyle thing of it,
it's different.
Who to talk to, agents, like what those relationships are, how contracts break down. Nobody teaches you that shit, dude.
No, there was none of that. None of that for me in college either. That's the biggest culture shock I think that you get because in school you're just learning how to do the stuff. Right. You're like, oh, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know what kind of artist I am, or you're starting to figure that out. And then all of a sudden you get thrown into a pool with whales in it. And you're like, well, how the hell am I supposed to carve my own path here when there's literally no path?
And everybody tells you something different. Like everybody gives you different advice.
There's no blueprint.
There's no blueprint. I would be very, very interested to see what they're teaching in film schools nowadays.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah,
because
that's actually a good point.
I've seen some stuff of kids, because they're kids, now, like, and they're posting, like, this is what I learned. I'm going to teach you so you don't have to, like that type of thing. I go to USC film school so you don't have to. And they do their like little thing. And it's like, okay, I get what you're doing. But I'm like, you have no idea that you ain't going to have a job when you graduate.
Right.
That's a big part of it, right?
Are you, like, they don't, or what are they teaching you guys as far as like where's the industry going and how to navigate that?
Right.
That's the most important, because like we've been in the trenches long enough. Like now we see where the game is going, and we're like, okay, we gotta dodge, and we have those tools. I don't know that school teaches you that, and you're going to be throwing these kids out to the freaking wolves.
Yeah,
there's like a survival part of this that is like just overlooked. It's kind of the biggest part of it, right?
Yeah, it really is.
How about like going over like what a contract should, and it's not to say some schools don't teach us. I'm sure there are some that do,
Yeah.
but by and large, you don't learn like how to look over a contract, with an agent or how to get an agent or manager, or, like how to, look, when you get out there, you can do background work to make some cash. Here's how you would work towards getting a SAG card if you want to go that route, but the best move is get a job as like a waiter or a bartender or something. They don't teach you those survival skills. And then so many people come out here and they get brought into this wild world that's not comparable to anything else in life.
Yeah.
And they don't have anyone to ask to. So you have to be out here for a while to kind of like meet people and learn and kind of develop the right mindset. I met a guy, I took classes with this really dope acting coach, casting director, Matthew Berry. Shout out Matt Berry. Who one of the best pieces of advice he ever gave was in the first class I ever took with him. He set the class down. He's like, listen, guys, I know a lot of you are new here to LA. I've been doing this for a while. And the best advice I can give you is it takes about 1.5 to 2 years before you feel like you even understand the flow of the city.
Yeah.
You make your friends, you find out where to go, not to go, what parts of town are active, what parts aren't, and if you can weather the storm for those 2 years and do your due diligence and learn and try to be smart about it, you'll be fine. But the people that, like you guys were saying, that come out here with like, oh, I'll give it some time, like maybe.
You don't just walk here. You don't just walk out and be like, here's my talent.
Right.
And somebody's like, oh, you're exactly what we've been looking for.
Yeah.
Everybody here is talented.
No.
That's not enough.
Like it just
Well, that's what they were selling everybody back in the day. It was like, oh, you get off the bus and sure enough, there's an agent or there's it never happens.
No.
It just doesn't happen.
Well,
like there are
so
versions
saturated.
of it, right? But there are versions of that happen, which people are still clinging to. Like I made a video once and it got 1 million views. And then 2 days later, I got a phone call from somebody from Variety. And then all of a sudden I was in Variety. And then all of a sudden I got this like show. And it's like, that happens.
Sure.
But like, it happens to like 0.00001% of people.
Yeah.
So like, there's like what they sell you is never what it actually is.
Right. And the like you said, it's like just such a fraction of people that if that's what you're banking on, that's the part of believing in yourself you're believing in, you're going to fall short. Like, I say this all the time, but like the best like commodity that you have as an artist is that you are the only you that has ever existed in the history of ever, right? And all we want to do with our performances, you get an audition stuff like, oh, how do I make this unique? How do I stand out? Well, just by nature of being brave enough to be your authentic self, you're as unique as any human's ever been in the history of ever. Right. But that's fucking terrifying because everyone out here tells you have to adhere to this, this, and this. Cast members want this. You should wear this. This is the tone. This is what's popular on TV. And it's all this like misinformation. The hardest thing is sifting through all that bullshit and realizing that, oh, fuck, if I can just stay true to the person that brought me out here and believe in who I am, not believe in like an opportunity or luck or anything like that. Sure, those can be factors and small parts that may play a part. But like, if you can just find a way to stay true to what it is you're out here for, your voice, your opinions, your thought, and at the same time be malleable and open to learning everything and not think that you're better than anyone else or that you know more. No, be a fucking sponge. Learn like you've done, like learn a little bit about everything so you can communicate with your other creatives and together you can find, what it is you're looking for. Filmmaking is a team sport. And if you are hoping that you're going to be the one that's walking down the street and they're just going to recognize how perfect and beautiful you are. No, the price of admission is being, a level of attractive and being talented and understand. That's just the price of admission. Yeah. You don't get a cookie for that.
Right.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot more.
Yeah, I agree.
Just a short drive outside of Los Angeles, nestled in the tall sequoias of the San Bernardino Mountains, your ideal summer getaway awaits. Lake Arrowhead, California offers the perfect respite for the weary traveler, with recreation aplenty, fishing, boating, hiking, dining, shopping, nightlife, and plenty of local charm. Lake Arrowhead has something for everyone. So wait no longer and book your stay today. In beautiful Lake Arrowhead, California.
Oh, the birds here. All kinds of species.
And we'll see you on the water.
something that I've always I've liked about you through following you like on socials and stuff. You post about the bad parts too.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't comfortable being that vulnerable about like, it's like everything's like, I don't know, like it's like Instagram's your magazine cover
Sure.
where it's kind of like, okay, this is what I did. This is how great I'm doing.
Right.
And you've been pretty open about like your disappointmts too.
Like that.
Which, but not in a woe is me kind of way, but just in that like, yeah, man, like this is just, okay, you're a real human,
Yeah.
you know? And you had mentioned
How about it? Here in LA?
Rare.
it's so refreshing though.
Yeah.
You know, it's because it's either that or it's, you know, everything sucks and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, without getting into that mind frame, which we all do enough to ourselves in our own heads.
Totally.
Shit.
You know, there is something to be shared about like, man, I had this thing I was really excited about and it's just, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
What are some of those for you that
Well, I mean, I will say the reason why I do and so open about that stuff is because, like you said, when it happens, you go into what was me, and I go into the depths of how much I'm hurting and how much it sucks, and you know how much it feels like a dream is fleeting or whatever that is. I genuinely go there, you know, and I sit in that in my mind for a while, and I realize that there are like. It takes a little bit of time, but I realize usually I've gotten pretty good with like within the hour of me like driving myself down a hole where I'll be like, you know what? There are so many other people who are going through this and so many other people who've had worse experiences or anything like that. And I decide, let me share what this feels like and let me share and let people know that this is going to happen. No one talks about it, but it is going to happen. This is what it looks like. And this is how you move forward from it.
yeah, it's not the end of the road
No.
when you get like a certain rejection or, you know, a project or you get cut from a project or something like that, or you don't make the final cut or whatever happens. It feels a lot of times, you know, the more you live, the less it feels like it, but it can in the moment be like, I guess this just wasn't meant for me.
Sure.
I guess it's just a sign like this was my moment and it's being taken away.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
No, it's not. It's not. But it feels like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does feel like that. I mean, I could talk about my most recent one if you guys want to hear.
Yeah.
Please.
So I'll just go into the story about how it all happened. So I got this audition from my manager, you know, didn't think anything of it. It was like for a film, didn't say what the film was, didn't say anything about it. So I do the audition and he's like, hey, you're pinned for this. I was like, oh, cool.
That's a good email to get.
Yeah. And I was like, he's like, they want to see you do this other character and then they want to see you do this one thing 3 times, 3 different takes, all with different inflections. And I was like, okay, cool. Again, still have no idea what this is for. So I'm like in my bedroom, I got sweatpants on and it's just the top, you know what I mean? I'm just shooting that, the whole thing.
Yep.
I do the thing. I like, you know, just like any other, like, I got a couple minutes. Let me get this done real quick. You know, got the audition in. And then I got a text message that said, you booked Atlas. And I was like, what's Atlas? What is that? And he goes, big budget Netflix film. And I was like, whoa, okay.
Let's fucking go.
That's awesome. So what do? I go straight to Google. I type in Atlas, Netflix. And the first thing that comes up is Jennifer Lopez's new, you know, action film for Netflix.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, holy shit. And I look at like the cast list and it's her as Atlas. And I was like, whoa, okay. Because my scene, I save Atlas's life.
Oh,
nice.
Wow.
So I was like, and then it all started to hit me at the same time. I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Am I going to work with J-Lo? Am I going to be like, I know the scene, like this is such a big deal. Like it hit me. This was like the biggest thing I'd booked.
Yeah.
Right. I've been in TV shows here and there.
I've seen you in some commercials.
Yeah, tons of commercials and stuff, you know, all that kind of stuff. But this was like a full blown movie with a legitimate like icon, you know?
Yeah.
So excited about it. I went to did the fitting, I did, you know, the test, I did all that stuff. And then I went and on the day, and it was literally just me and her for 8 hours, 7-8 hours.
Hanging out with J-Lo?
Yeah. All day. Just doing
questions.
this scene. Honestly, it was like the second to last day of shooting for them. They were on day like 67 of 68 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And there was like moments where there was like some tenseness, but she was so kind.
Oh, that's good to
which
hear.
I've heard, people hear things, but like
Yeah.
she was genuinely so kind. She gave me a couple of pointers and some things that we were doing. So it was really, really like an amazing experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the director was Brad Payton. He had done a couple other big movies. He did Skyscraper with The Rock. And
Oh,
a few
nice.
other,
Yeah,
big, big movies. So, and he was like super nice as well. And so, I got the chance to do this thing. I got to work with her all day. Basically, my character like saves her life and then like helps her back onto like this spaceship. We were doing this like huge green screen thing. It was massive. And I had so much fun. And then the movie's like starting to be promoted and, all this stuff is starting to come out. And I'm just like so excited. I'm like, holy shit, I'm about to see like this whole thing. And I was telling a few people, not everybody. I didn't go out and like say like all this stuff, but I was telling a few close friends and like what it was and what it entailed. And I was so excited about it. And then about a week before the movie came out, I had gotten an email from the director, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, there were some things that had to get shifted around and we had to cut the scene. And I was like, oh, man. And so as soon as I heard that, genuinely broke down in tears because to me, it was like the biggest thing,
man.
like way, way, way biggest thing.
That's one of those game-changing roles.
That's what I mean.
Your quote
And
changes immediately.
And it could have just been like one moment of being on screen where like, with an icon. Where you could have been like, I did this,
Right.
And so I was
You
like,
don't even get the footage for it.
Not the footage, not the credit, not nothing, right? So, it crushed me. Like truly in the moment, it crushed me. And I remember in the moment, like I was letting myself be so sad about it. And immediately I was like, hold on, I have to respond to this email.
Yeah.
And so I took the time and I was like, I understand my position in some of these things. And I understand that, I forgot the way I said it, but I said something to the effect of like, my role in this thing is less than the overall sum of what the movie is.
Sure.
And as long as the overall sum of the movie is what it's supposed to be, regardless of if I'm involved in it or not, I appreciate the opportunity and I'm appreciative of like working with you guys and having a good time.
Well done.
And he responded back immediately and was like, that was so thankful to have you. I'd love, I'll look to work with you again or something like that. And then I was like, hey, do you guys have any like screenshots or something that I could have from the scene?
Yeah.
I should have asked for the scene because I probably would have given it to me.
Yeah.
But he sent me over 4 or 5 screenshots of the thing. And, I looked at it like, for the first time, instead of me going down like the really negative and staying negative, I was like, I don't need the proof that I did it because I know I did it.
Yeah.
I got to have that experience. Nobody gets to have that experience.
Yeah.
I got to have that experience.
Yeah.
I know that I did it. Just because I don't have the footage, just because I don't have the credit doesn't mean that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that for me at the time was enough for me to be like, okay, you know what? I could talk about this openly to people. I can, and that's when I went to social media and I was like, hey, so this is something that happened.
You didn't say exactly what the project was, but you were just so open and honest about it. And it was like, damn, you never hear that. You never, I mean, it happens. It happens to all of us. And that's such a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a rough one.
Yeah. And you know what though? It happens to like huge people too.
Yeah.
Like some people in Dune, the second Dune that came out, there was like I don't even remember who the actress was, but there was an actress who was like a A-lister who got cut from the movie.
Yeah. And that was a big thing with in Lord of the Rings. What's her name? Oh my goodness. How am I spacing on her name? Main female character.
Liv Tyler?
Yeah, Liv Tyler's character in is it the second one? Her character got cut down tremendously.
Yeah.
And they were like, we'll keep a little bit, but she was in all of these fight sequences and battle scenes, and they had to cut it out. Not because her performance was bad. Her performance was great. That's the most heartbreaking part. Yeah. Especially when it's such a good performance. But sometimes in the editing room, it doesn't benefit the story. Yeah. Or, it detracts from this other character that they were trying to introduce. Right. And it's like, man, fuck. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, it happens. And I think that's the thing that I learned that was a big lesson for me because I was putting a lot on it.
Well, you know
I was putting a lot on it.
you booked that.
Yeah.
And you can book that again.
Sure.
You know, that's the
Totally.
you know that you can do that.
Totally.
And also, too, I mean, to find some silver lining on it, like, sounds like you don't need any help doing that. You already have. But also, I hear it, too, and I'm like, well, that would wreck me. That would tear my insides out, too.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like good training almost for when that inevitably happens, you know, in the future.
Totally.
To a degree.
I totally
like
agree.
learning how to, not even so much, just learning how to like bounce back from that.
Yeah.
You know, and not let it kind of, so you take your moment, you lick your wounds,
Yeah.
you feel it. You should be allowed to feel it. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But then be able to move forward. How do you like, how did you develop that kind of mindset to be able, I mean, have you always been that way where you can like, you know, kind of let shit roll off of you and like, you know, kind of compartmentalize it in the right way? Or was that something you developed?
I think it's something I developed. I think it's, and again, it goes with sharing the experience.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's not necessarily that I can let things roll off of my shoulders or whatever, but I think that when I am sharing it, it's no longer something that's just here.
You're not alone in it.
I'm not alone in
Yeah.
it.
I like that.
And if it's something that stays here, then that's where you can get fucked up.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
where like all the negative thoughts come in. That's when like, you know, you've heard, and I'm sure you've gone through any creative or any person who's gone through some sort of thing like that, where they just question themselves and they're always thinking about it, and it can get really dark. And I think, I think for me, it got to a point where I was like, I could do that, or I could just share the experience and let everybody else know that this happened. And then some people will be like, yeah, this happened to me too. And then there's community, and then there's conversation. And then the next day it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the next thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, that's kind of like, that's literally kind of the whole mindset behind what, you know, what we do. Yeah, that was kind of the whole thing, was like Mair and I sitting around and being like, no one ever talks about like the real day-to-day shit, you know, because some of it may be like monotonous or boring or whatever, but like that's the kind of stuff that I feel like if you're new to this industry or whatever, you need to hear it. You need to hear that. You need to be able to tell somebody like, look, this was a massive like win for me, and then it kind of felt like it got taken away. And that could be one of those things where like if you were caught at a different era in life where you were feeling already kind of broken down, then something like that happens, that you're kind of like, you know what, I'm throwing in the towel. But but because you've been able to like cultivate this mindset, it will continue to serve you in your future. And by sharing that, you're kind of teaching others. Like those, again, like we were talking about earlier about like the things they don't teach you in film school.
Yeah.
You know, they don't teach you that. Our job, especially in the beginning, is rejection.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's always rejection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah. Maybe so.
you know,
Different forms of it, different kinds of it.
Public rejection when you're big and things like that.
Yeah. And not to be like, woe is me, but you know, because it's not. It's just what you're doing is somebody had, your job is to fill a role.
Yeah.
And
literally.
and somebody has an idea of what they want that person to be. It's like it's like dating.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, you go on these dates to try and like find your person, and if you don't fit, you're not what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock against you, but like you go on so many dates, nothing seems to pan out. You're gonna get bummed
A little
out.
discouraged.
You know?
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, so do you have anything in particular that you do to like pull yourself out of it? Or are you able to just kind of take a breath and like recalibrate your brain? Or is there like, do you have anything in particular that's helped you kind of get through that sort of stuff? Or is it just by nature of like the sharing and being open and honest with it?
I think mostly it comes from the sharing. I think, I mean, look, you can jump up and get into something else if you want to. I know it depends on the artist. Everyone's got their own way of doing it. Like, you know, I know people who you might go through something like that. And you're like, all right, I'm going to go write a script. I'm going to go jump into write a treatment. I'm going to go write something. I've done that before, but I think for me, I need to just get over the negative feeling. Once I get over the negative feeling, it's like, okay, well, it didn't happen. So if it didn't happen now, that doesn't mean that it can't happen later. But then at the same time, like, you know, I'm lucky enough to get a ton of auditions. It might be a lot of commercial stuff or, you know, whatever it is. So I might, especially literally in that moment when I got that email, I was setting up for a feature film audition. I was literally like had the camera ready. I had just done one take. and I had to get a second take. I had to get the second scene.
Let's see how good of an actor you really are, bitch.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And it's funny because of what ended up happening with this. So I end up, I was like, okay. So I pulled myself together and I realized like, okay, that job, I got paid for it. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but now I'm literally standing in front of the camera to do another job.
Yeah.
Right. To get another job, book another job. So I literally like sent that email off and I composed myself and I got myself back into the scene and I did that second scene and I sent that off. And then, I think it was the next day they were like, we loved it. It was so great. We're thinking about like what the logistics are, if we're going to have to bring you out here, whatever. And then literally they were like, sorry, we couldn't figure out the flight situation. So it's a no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So like, it was back to back when I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
But also back to back though
Good
they both are the wins.
Totally.
Like both of those things that happened were no reflection of you.
Right.
It was these things out of your power. And if you can find the strength in those moments to just remember that, like, yo, there's so many things, there's so many moving parts in a film, like shit's just out of your control.
Yeah.
But like, make no mistake, you did your job, you did your thing, you know, and even just getting that thing, like they wanted you, just logistically didn't win out. So technically that's still a fucking win.
It is.
You
but
know?
I think like tell that to somebody who's trying to pay their bills and this is the only thing that they have.
Right.
It's like, yes, it's a win, but also like it didn't happen.
Right.
You know, like no matter how good I was, no matter how like, you know, whatever it is, I still didn't get the job.
Is this the universe telling me to fucking knock it off?
You know what I mean? Like you could just as easily go down that path.
True.
And then all of
Very
a sudden
true.
you're stuck and second guessing everything that you do. And
then your auditions suck.
Exactly.
Because it's always like that, you know, when you're on a high, you just book because you feel good about yourself. You're confident.
Yeah.
You're maybe not desperate for the role. So you're like, I'm just going to play and have fun and like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when it always I don't know, in my opinion or experience, it's always worked out that way for me. But if I like need it.
Yeah.
It's always like it doesn't happen.
No.
You can smell it on people, right? Like I think that's why we're drawn. It's why we're drawn to so many of the stars and stuff because they exude, whether it's fake or not, they're exuding a kind of confidence that we all wish that we had in ourselves, right?
They have like it's the term aura, term.
Yeah,
they really do. But like when
For
you're around
sure.
a lot of these people, occasionally you'll be around, you know, a celebrity or something where you're like, oh, that's so and so, like, huh. But they do have a presence, kind of a glow to them, whether it's their just the way they carry themselves, or you know, they just give off this like I'm sure of myself without it being arrogant, you know. But there is something to it. It draws people in.
It's the confidence that we all wish we had. And so if you can't summon that confidence in yourself, you see it on screen, you're able to kind of live vicariously through that, right? And so from a casting perspective, you know, if someone comes into the room and did they hit their beats? Yes. Did they have the right look? Yes. Do they X, Y, and Z? But there's still that one missing factor of a confidence in themselves. And it's not confidence in the sense of like you're saying, like, look how like great I am. It's just, I'm very sure in who I am.
Yeah.
And if you're missing that thing, you can see it, that desperation and all that.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, like, you know, going into a room and being so desperate, you know, to get the part and want it so bad, like that's not being the authentic you. That's not the job.
Right.
Art is self-expression. And if yourself is trying to be someone else, that's someone else's expression. That's imitation. And that's not your job.
Right.
You know, which easier said than done, obviously. But, that confidence factor really is the missing component. And to be able to, you know, I don't want to say like shrug it off, but be able to compose yourself in that moment and still get back to like, I'm going to handle my business. I'm going to do my thing. It says a lot about you.
Yeah.
And I see nothing but wins, but same deal. Like you also, you got to pay your bills.
Totally.
And imagine like all the people like that have like families, you know, and have kids.
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Like how you see these rock star like moms and dads come to auditions, like the few in person that are still out there, and they have to bring their kid with them. And stuff. Can you imagine that? Yeah. And you've got to stay locked in. I got to play a meth dealer, but I also need to get the apple juice to my kid in the lobby so they don't, you know, give everyone a headache.
Literally.
You know, it's at that again, those are those little nuanced things that you don't hear about when you're prepping for this kind of path or this journey. But I want to get back. So you came out to LA.
Yeah.
You had this internship with Break.
Yeah.
How long did that go?
Just under 2 years.
Okay, so it was
Yeah.
good to like kind of get your feet wet and stuff. And did you,
Yeah.
when you got out here, was it like immediately, let me scoop up some reps? Was it like, did you have a plan? or
Oh
was
God,
it
no.
just kinda wing it?
As far as the acting stuff goes, no, definitely not. I think what I did, one of the first things I did was like a 48-hour film.
Nice. I
Oh,
love
cool.
48.
Yeah, those are
Love
it was super
48s.
fun. I did it with some friends, and then from there, I did like some web series stuff. And,
Sure.
worked with some friends, and we did some like web series things, and that wasn't enough for me to like give a reel. I
Mhm.
put together a reel, plus with some like senior thesis things that I did in college. And then I remember I was shooting a short with somebody. They had access to like a $30,000 camera. And we're like, we're just going to shoot something.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have an idea. So they just were like, let's just go shoot. And I was working at a bar in Hollywood at the time, and we ended up shooting something in the kitchen there. And the actress that I was working with there, I'd never met her before, but she was like, do you have an agent? You're good. And I was like, no, I don't. I've been looking. And she's like, well, my commercial agent or my agent's looking for people, so you should send her a message. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So I sent her a message, and 3 hours later she responded.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later I was signed.
Great.
yeah.
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 So it started from there, and then I've been with her since then, actually, which is crazy. It's been a long time, but so I've been doing commercials and all sorts of things with her since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
It's nice when
Yeah.
you find a rep that you can kind of bond with. My commercial rep I've
Yeah.
been with from the get go out here, and
Mhm.
he's the man. And it's weird. Like I don't know how you guys feel, but you come out here and you're very green, and then you get jaded.
Yeah.
You go from one green to the other. You get
Yeah,
jaded.
yeah. I got you. I was right there with you.
Stupid. So stupid. So stupid. But you get kind of jaded, and I know I certainly went through this where it almost like I had a chip on my shoulder about reps and casting directors, and truthfully, some of them deserve it, but
100%.
some of them fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
But it's so nice when you do start like accumulating your team, whether it's like friends that you make web series with. I mean, that's our story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally we met 10 years ago, long before we were dating.
Yeah.
We met 10 years ago because I was producing a short film, and we cast Mair, and her and I hit it off, and we had a great time, and then just kind of stayed in contact. And then there was the web series stuff that I did in like in like student films, and
Mhm.
you do that when you first get out here, and I think that's something that not enough people encourage
Yeah.
to newer actors when they come out here. Like, look, don't come out here and think you're just gonna start getting those Netflix auditions, and maybe you will, and sometimes you
Some
get
people
those.
get lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you'll be so woefully unequipped for what that looks like.
Yeah.
And I really think starting on the indie film, starting on web series, starting on like a lot of the colleges around here give their kids like really good gear, and the students are driven to do a good job.
I've worked on student films when I first was like putting a reel together
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, same.
Phenomenal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like really high quality, beautiful work.
Sometimes
Yeah.
better than some features I worked
Totally.
on.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Totally.
mean?
Well, if you're one scene versus all of the scenes,
Yeah.
So if you're putting the time and the energy into it, which is beautiful because you're teaching these kids how to really like, okay, this is how it's done
Yeah.
properly. So they, focus on their 10-minute,
It's for a grade.
Yeah.
They will do a good job.
Yeah.
But you do this, and you kind of get in the mix, and the projects slowly start getting bigger. Then it's not so overwhelming. But I don't know how you feel, but like looking back, like if I would have like that 20-year-old kid that just got off,
Oh yeah.
the bus or whatever out
Yeah.
here, like I hit some, I don't know, lucky streak and ended up on movie with De Niro or something. Dude, you would crash and burn,
Yeah.
and it would affect you in such a way that you would talk about confidence. Like you'd
Yeah.
be done for. I don't know how you'd recover from something
Totally.
like that.
Well, there's that thing about like, because there's always the ebbs and flows.
Right.
Right. So if your first thing is super, super, super successful, the first thing that you've ever done, then you don't really know what rejection
Correct.
is.
Mhm.
And there's nothing worse than like having, being on a certain like pedestal and looked at. And that's when you're developing into a human,
Yeah.
in your early 20s or your late teen years or whatever. And that's like So now you've developed this persona. This is how you view yourself. And
Right.
it's based on how the world views you. But things slow down.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not the right fit for something. Maybe you're going through a weird period where it's hard for people to cast you because you're not quite mom, but you're not quite teenager. Like, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And not knowing how to handle that. But from such like a big level, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really hard to deal with. It's almost nicer to be able to like, you've had some wins, you've been able to do this, like you've been able to take care of yourself, but you know, like I'm going to be okay when things aren't okay.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it'll be all right.
That's, I think, one of the hardest things to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things to learn in this profession is that like, just because the movie didn't go well, it's not a reflection of you as a character, right?
Right.
You aren't the actor that you are. You are still a different person. You aren't like, you know, a lot of the times like you could shoot the most beautiful thing ever, but the editor may cut it into pieces and it's not, you know, not what you wanted it to be or whatever it is. It's a
You don't like the angle they chose.
yeah,
or
exactly.
The take.
It's a whole thing of like, you know, everyone has a piece in it. It's not just one person's thing. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
filmmaking's a team sport, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a team sport 100%. And you have to, that's where all that trust comes in. And sometimes you're stoked on the final product. Sometimes you're less stoked, whatever.
Yeah.
I also too think like going through those trials and tribulations and the ups and downs and the big ones and the small ones and the, you know, the 17, 20-hour shoot days, you know, we've all been on.
Yeah.
You know, the ones where crafty, what's that? I didn't even know shit you not, dude. I had never heard the word crafty on any of the. I had worked on a gang of stuff in Texas those first couple years before I moved out here. I had never heard the word crafty. I had never heard of stunt coordinators, like all these kind of things.
Oh, no, it's so weird when I was like, what is blocking?
Yeah.
And you're like trying to fake it, and you're just kind of like people are telling you things, and it's a foreign language to you, and you're like, yep.
Oh yeah,
got it.
Camera right? Yeah, no, definitely camera right. That's what I was thinking
too.
too.
Can you cheat to camera?
Yeah.
What? Like what?
Who am I cheating on the camera with?
Like what?
Is it with the audio guy?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, you got to learn all that, and I think I think there's something to be said for kind of coming up in the trenches and decide. You also learn like how bad do you really want this, and what are the reasons you want it? Is your love for this whole game based on the things strictly on the things you book and the accolades you receive, or is it because you wake up in the morning and you're trying, you can't help but be creative in some aspect of your life, and this is a career path that, if pursued and worked really hard at, can be, you know, you can be creative for a living. How bad do you want it and why?
Yeah.
You know, and I think coming up through the trenches does that. If you have everything handed to you, or you hit a lucky streak and stuff like that, I think your opinion of why you do this might become a little bit distorted.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Sorry to interrupt the moment, Beavis and Broccoli here. But how do you expect a bunch of non-Olympic human beings to defeat a bunch of sexy demons? And vampires, too.
Vampires? What in the house of horror shit is this?
I have a solution.
Let's see this. Water balloons and water guns?
Holy water balloons and water guns.
Wait.
That might work.
You expect us to fight some demons and vampires with some toys?
Yeah. If you had any faith, you would understand that this is a brilliant idea.
These assholes, they do this every time. There's always one, every time I sit down to edit this, there's always one little thing that I either messed up or forgot.
For sure.
Or every time, like one day I'm gonna hit them all. That's why I wrote all the stuff on the.
That's a good way to do it, honestly.
I had to, because it would be like when we were first figuring out how to do this. Well, nobody's talking to you. She's always butting in. I would just forget like little things, and I'd sit down and it would triple my editing time.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
Every time.
I'm gonna check this guy too, though.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I'm so scatterbrained,
Yeah,
bro.
same here.
As if you haven't figured
Same
that
here.
out by watching this show. Any hoosers.
So we talk about what it's kind of like to, you know, you get your downs, but what is it? What are some of your wins? Your big wins, you know?
I mean, for me, a lot of the wins have come from commercial stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of commercial stuff.
You got a great voice.
I
Man.
appreciate
Do you do
it, man.
voiceover?
I have, but I don't get the jobs.
Yeah.
I don't get like submitted as much for it. So
Great voice,
kind of
bro.
interesting. But so I appreciate that. But As far as the wins go, I think a lot of it has been commercial work for me. There's been a couple of movies here and there that I did that I had a blast doing. A couple of TV show things here and there that were super fun. But like, I think overall, what some of the wins look like for me are when I realize that it doesn't always take a massive production to be seen and to be recognized for something.
Yeah.
You know, and to get a story out there.
Yeah.
And I think that for me is like, oh, because then it doesn't feel like I have to make $1 million in order for it to be good.
Right.
And that's not true.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I could talk about this one experience of I was working, I had just shot a smaller web series, really, really super well done, beautifully shot, talented people working on it.
No one saw it?
No. No, but we did it. It was supposed to go somewhere, and then it didn't go somewhere, and then it ended up on like Quibi, I think, or like Quibi, not Quibi, but like the other one that was there. There was another one at the time. So it ended up being a vertical, and this is 2019, 2018.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, early.
This was way earlier.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing that there's been a lot of talk about that lately is Quibi was just so ahead of their time.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because they were doing the vertical thing, but for whatever reason,
Culture wasn't ready for it, I guess.
wasn't- yeah.
People wanted to watch things this way, not this way.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not going to watch something like this. And now that's all we do.
Yeah, it was post COVID when TikTok blew up.
Exactly.
Changed everything.
Yeah. So I had done this thing and I had the trailer for it and it looked like a real TV show, like genuinely shot and looked like a real TV show.
Well, a web series is a real TV
It
show.
is.
People,
Totally is. You're right.
Agents don't get it a lot.
You're totally
They're
right.
like, but it is. It's a real television show.
It
It's
is.
just not on a major network, but a lot of them, a lot more views than
Totally.
a big TV show.
Yeah. Well, and that was how we looked at it. When me and the person who created it, we were coming up with the idea for it, and it was one of those things where we were like, we could make this a 30-minute pilot, or we could make it 5-minute episodes.
Smart.
And so that's what we did.
Yeah.
We made it 5-minute episodes. It could cut into a pilot if we wanted to. I think he shopped it around and it just never took off, but it was really good. And so I was invited to a table read of some sort with some people, and I was doing the table read, and then after they were asking for notes, and I was giving good notes because I'm like that.
Right.
And after that, this one guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, so like you were giving great notes up there. Like, what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm an actor and a writer and this and that." I just got this thing and I showed him the trailer and he was like, "Dude, that's awesome. Let's go grab coffee. I'd love to pick your brain." And I was like, "All right, great." So we went and we had a cup of coffee and we started talking about. I looked at like his YouTube page. I think he had like 1 million subscribers.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he had a lot of stuff. He had like close to 2 million on Instagram as well, or hundreds of thousands at least on YouTube. And I was looking at his content, and like there was nothing wrong with it, but I knew that he wanted to elevate the content. And for the conversation that we just had, it was like, look how good this looked, look how good I could do, So he was like, let's come up with an idea. And so there was this one series that he was doing, and again, filmed with like one person, no sound, no nothing, just a whatever. And I pitched him this idea of like how to continue that story or open up that story. And from that conversation, we went on to shoot 2 seasons of a show. I think we had 18 episodes in the first one, and then I think we had like 16 in the second one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just from that conversation.
That's fantastic.
It was insane. And again, it was called Killer Bay. I mean, I don't know if anyone who is watching or listening has ever heard of it, but at the time when it came out, it was huge for him. Like we were averaging 500,000 views a video.
Nice.
An episode. And the episodes were anywhere from like 15 to 30 minutes long.
Oh, so it's a proper show.
Yeah.
Legitimate, like long thing. We had $0 of budget.
Yeah.
Literally $0. We had nothing but ourselves and a few other people who came, and we would shoot on like one day, shoot the whole episode and just get it in.
Yeah.
And so, so me and him, we would sit there. I think I wrote most of the first season. We would go back and forth with some things. And then the second season, he wrote most of the episodes with my guidance and figuring out where the story was going to go. And I always looked at it like, this is a fun thing I get to do. There's a lot of talented people who are working. A lot of these, like, I say like Instagram type people, but I just mean like people who got their fame from doing skits and things on Instagram. And so we would bring these people in, and we would bring them as characters, and we would do this whole thing. And that's probably where I've been noticed the most for any of my work that I've ever done. Mind you, I've been on huge national commercials. I was on a commercial for the Grammys that aired during every football game. Like I've been been seen a lot.
Right.
But this one was insane. I remember multiple experiences. I was at a restaurant with a friend of mine. We were having dinner. These two guys were like looking into the restaurant, and then they just walked in. It was just me and him there. They walked right up to me and they were like, "Are you Evan from Killer Bay?" And I'm like, blew my mind.
Well, is it
who put you up to this?
Literally,
were you playing? You guys,
I was playing Evan.
You were playing
myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing. Like people always, my parents never, my dad in particular was always like, "Well, why can't you book one of these big commercials?" And I just don't understand why things don't happen for you. And
For the record, that's your go-to dad voice. Tom does not sound like that at all.
That's how I picture him sounding.
I know it is so much though.
And I don't know, New England. I don't know why I think that, but that's what they think. But what really it is somebody being able to see you over and over and over again, and especially if it's like the same character, then they can connect. With a commercial, you're playing something completely different every single time, and maybe someone will be able to like, oh, that, if they just saw it. Yeah. But with YouTube, it's so different. Totally. It's so different. And they're spending that time with you. They have that connection with you.
That's exactly what it is.
And
and how cool for it to be something that you wrote and co-created. To, like that. I mean, as great as like the JLo stuff is and everything else, that's all amazing too. But how cool for like something that literally came out of your brain, playing a version of yourself, making it with your people, to be the thing that resonates. Because like, 100%. What more proof do you need that's you're on the right path?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, I remember even during 2020 that we had just finished it before then, or I think we were trying to finish up the second season right around then. But I went into a post office with a mask on, obviously, and I was sending out a package, and I put it up there. The guy looks at the thing and he looks up and he goes, "Damn, I didn't know Evan from Killer Bay was going to be in my line today." Oh. And I'm like, "What?" Like it so legitimately surprised me.
Yeah.
Like just to be recognized for something that I thought was, at the time when we were doing it, we had no budget, we had no we were just piecing together this thing.
Yeah.
And to think that that's the thing that's resonated most with people more so than anything that I've ever done it just says that you never know what people are going to like and you don't have any control over it.
It's the same with you and like Dar or
the
Dragon Ball thing. I did this Dragon Ball live action thing back in the day. And that was probably the thing that I would get recognized for the most.
Yeah.
And it was the same deal. It was a bunch of us. It was a bunch of friends doing exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of cool shit outside of that, but that was the one. And you're like, something about it is just like, oh man, that feels good. Because that feels like that was really me.
Yeah.
That was really me putting myself out there,
Totally.
That's really fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's really cool. So is that still going? Are you guys
No. We stopped it after the second season. We closed the story there. Okay, but it was super fun.
Yeah.
It was super fun. And it was just such a simple idea that we made it so dumb. Basically the idea of it was this guy was a player and he met this one girl that he couldn't say no to, I guess.
Yeah.
And you come to find out that she's a succubus.
Sure.
Nice.
And she kills all of his ex-girlfriends.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So anyone that any girl that comes up to him and gives him the time of day eventually dies.
Oh, and is he savvy to it? So he's trying
No, he has no idea.
Oh, awesome.
I'm the one, I play his best friend who I know what's going on. And I'm like, dude, there's a problem here.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to hear it.
He doesn't want to hear it. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Simple, dumb storytelling, but in the funnest way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
What's the channel that it was on?
Jahan Jones is the guy. Jahan Jones.
Cool.
Yeah. So you guys want to see it? Jahan Jones. He's still making a bunch of stuff. He's great. Yeah.
So was that your first kind of really dedicated kind of writing thing, or were you writing a bunch before that?
I mean, I've been writing a lot of sketches and a lot of stuff like that for a while, and I've written a ton of features and a ton of TV shows and with my writing partner over the last decade, like tons and tons of.
Okay,
probably
so
have
writing
like,
was already
we've
part
been
of
doing it, but never like produced.
Yeah,
like they're just scripts that are waiting and sitting there. So.
Sure.
Nothing that was like really truly produced other than sketches and stuff. So this was the first thing that was like made, which I thought was really cool.
That's
it is
awesome.
really cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
And to do 2 seasons and 16 episodes.
Yeah,
That's no small feat. And we're not talking those 5 minutes. You're doing these 30-minute things. That's like, I mean, to pump out a 35 page script, like that could take months.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that time, so you have to kind of learn how to think on your feet.
We did it quick.
But that's kind of, isn't that that's usually how the best things come, when you
Totally.
don't have to think about it. And it's just like flows.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay. And when you're having fun, you know, it's
like what we were talking about right before the camera started rolling. We were talking about improv. It's like you don't give yourself a chance to second guess it. You know, I'm sure you guys can. I know you can, but I'm sure you can relate too. It's like you start drifting from here up into here.
Yeah.
And the higher you get up into here, like the creativity and stuff like that tends to get stunted a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, you want to find a nice balance, but being able to kind of push that down and stay in that creative zone and not think too much, you know, that's what I do, dude. I'm like, I think we were talking about it earlier, but like we are kind of perfectionists, you know, all of us, and you want it to be great. So it's like, I'll hold back from putting something out or doing something because I've already decided in my head it's not going to be perfect before you even try.
Yeah.
I've given up on that.
Yeah,
I put it all out there.
Yeah,
see, that's huge though.
It is.
The fact that you're able to do that sets you apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, what I realized, and this is something else that I don't know. I didn't go to film school, so I can't really speak on it. But I don't believe that they teach you how to learn your audience.
Yeah,
it's so important to learn them. And I have begun learning them over time because my friends and I, we did a web series together that we wrote, produced, you know, and put out. And we realized that what we were making was, it was something that we wanted to make, but it didn't really vibe with our audience.
Yeah.
And we couldn't understand, like, what is it? Like, it's like the story is good. I don't understand. The acting is good. I don't understand why they're upset. Being like, oh, they want what they want, and they want how it, and they don't care if it's perfect.
Right.
They don't really care about the quality, but they want to see a certain thing. And I don't know, I just always found like the most success that I've had is not in the things that I visually am super proud of or story-wise are super proud of, but like when just like some personality shines through, and that's kind of fun, I guess.
You get to show the real you.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like here's what it looks like, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. But like the fact that you're able to do that, it literally sets you apart because everybody else or most of the other people are waiting for it to be a perfect thing, waiting for it to look a certain way or, you know, whatever it is. And then a lot of those things never get shown, never get seen. Nobody ever sees it.
Just go, man.
You just gotta let it go. Yeah.
Just go. Just go. It'll get better over time. You'll learn. But just go. If you never start, you're never going to get there.
That's 100% true.
I struggle with that so hard. We talked about it, I think, on one of the previous episodes. You know, like I got into this kind of funk for like 10 or so years after being here and doing the Hollywood hustle for so long that I had lost myself, and it reflected in my work. And you do kind of have that sort of like I want to say like fuck it energy because you do care about what you do, but you are really good at being honest in what you do, and it's helped me relearn how to do that. And it sounds like you're the same way, being so open about all this stuff. And it really is kind of the secret sauce, you know. It's
the same thing as what we were talking about, like, you know, when the most embarrassed you could ever possibly be.
Yeah.
And you know, once you've had certain, like, you know, had performances out there for millions and millions and millions of people to see, where I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible. Like, I can't, everyone's seen it. All right. So I'm at the gross. That's what you guys know me from. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you're just like, okay, well, what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
You know, like it's okay. It's fine. And then it's funny to see, you know, a lot of times people just want some escapism and they want, you know, something funny. I think there haven't been any really like good comedies that have come out.
Oh my
God. Like, I grew up watching silly comedies, and that was just, that was so fun,
Yeah.
you know, and we don't really have that, but like YouTube and web series allow that
It
for
allows
people.
it does.
So, and if you go back and watch a lot of the comedies that, you know, like, you know, Superbad and stuff like that, there are tons of errors in those
So
films.
many.
Sure.
They're not perfect,
No.
but you're never paying attention to that
No.
because you're having so much fun.
Yeah.
Just kind of connecting to the characters. So, you know, once you think about that, it's like not everything has to be an art piece, an
Yeah.
art house style piece, you
Yeah.
know? That doesn't make you an artist.
Right.
You know?
You
It's cool if that's your thing and that's what you enjoy. But
Yeah. It's like as long as you're telling a good story.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
We're storytellers. People forget that.
Literally. I mean, look, I'll talk about this. There's a feature that I just finished. I was EP on it. I was one of the actors on it, and we basically did the crowdfunding. You
Nice.
know, we went that way.
how much
And
did you? Can I ask? How much
yeah,
you
of
raised?
course. We raised $50K.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
good number. Yeah.
We raised $50K.
Very nice.
And we shot the whole thing basically in Lake Arrowhead, up the
Yeah.
way, and it was, you know, we had some horror icons that were in it. We had Michael Berryman from Hills Have Eyes. We
Nice.
had Lynn Lowry. We had Dee Wallace, who's in she was in Cujo,
Yep.
and she was the mom in E.T.
Yep.
You know, so we had some some names in this one, and it all came down to like they read the script and they were like, I like the script.
Really?
Like this would be fun.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and
so
so
great.
we were able to get them to come out and shoot this thing. And again, like, you know, I just saw the final cut and I'm so proud of what we were able to do with like the little money that we had. And obviously there's always going to be things where you're like, I wish we could change this, or I wish I could have gone back and done that. But at the end of the day, like we did the same production company, same people, same director, same writer, same everything. We had done one in 2022 in Pittsburgh. It was called The Trip. And it was his first time making a movie. He was a writer, director, editor, and lead. He did everything, right? So it was first time making something, and we went through a lot of things, and we learned a lot of things. But he's making a profit from that film right now.
That's incredible.
And that was another crowdfunded film. I think we raised like 20 or 30K for that one. So he's seeing profit from that, which I think is insane.
Yeah.
And you know, you could look at it and be like, geez, man, the editing here, or the, you know, this thing there, you could pick it apart if you want to. But the fact of the matter is it's still bringing him income.
yeah.
Meaning people are enjoying it one way or another.
Yeah.
So we took all the things that we learned in that film and we brought it into the next one. And now, like some of the things that we were worried about on the first one, we tweaked that and made it better in the second one. And now when we do a third one, it'll be better than that. And that's just what it is. We just,
Awesome.
you kept trying and kept pushing it forward. And as long as it's a good story and it's interesting, like people will watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being
You know what I
able
mean?
to put aside a fear of failure and just know that like whatever happens. We're going to do the best we can to tell this story. But
Yeah.
what we're not going to do is just sit here twiddling our thumbs talking about what if.
Right.
Go
That's
out there and
that-
do it.
that
Go do
Kevin
it.
Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
literally.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
you're
what
a
it
Jersey
is.
boy.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is
Kevin
so
Smith is an idol of mine.
Yeah.
it's just so brilliant because his films, you know, especially they're just so simple, but so,
So simple.
enjoyable. And just the fact that he was like, no, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to put it out there.
Yeah.
Like
Dude.
how cool, because it, without the fear of like judgment or what if, or
Yeah.
it's not good enough. Like,
Or
you
the
just
fear's
never know.
there, but you just accept the fear. Be like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's what the definition of bravery isn't the absence of fear. The definition of bravery is being scared and doing it anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, and the world needs brave people.
Yeah.
You know, so speaking of brave, though,
Yes.
I know
Oh, yeah.
you've got another little, not little, you have another
Yeah.
pretty exciting project that you guys are putting together.
Yeah.
You want to tell the folks a little bit about that?
I'd love to. Okay, so I started. It must have been, my God, over a decade ago. This is these decade-long relationships with people. You just never know what's
Yep.
going to
Yeah.
happen, right? So I had met the Strong brothers, Ryder Strong and Shiloh Strong. Ryder, of course.
Ryder Strong.
Yeah,
Sean
of
Hunter.
course.
Boy
Yes.
Meets World.
Boy Meets World. Yeah.
Oh.
That's so great.
Yes, and his other brother Shiloh, and I was helping them with a photo shoot for something, which to me at the time I was like, wow, what a cool thing.
Sean Hunter.
Right, and then we stayed in touch, and then just even a little bit ago, his brother moved back, but they had lost. He had lost his house in a fire. I think it was I'm not 100%. I think it was Washington State or somewhere up there. There was a wildfire that happened and they lost their house. So he knew what it was like when all the stuff with the Palisades was going on. But so he had that happen, and he ended up moving back to Los Angeles. And when he moved back, we reconnected. And so Shiloh would hit me up and he's like, hey, I'm hosting these brunches. It's just a bunch of people who are in the industry or not in the industry, but just people to come and hang out and, cultivate and just have a good time.
Yeah.
And so I would go and I would go and I would go and I kept meeting all these people. And then when the fires happened, he jumped into action. Like the second it happened, he took his van, he like went to everybody's houses, grabbed all the stuff that you can get, like any clothes, anything else, and just drove to every one of the places because he knew what it felt like. Right. Yeah. But not only did he know what it felt like to lose, he also knew what it felt like for the artists who lost everything, because then it's like, how are you supposed to create? How are you even thinking about creating in those moments? And the honest truth is that's kind of where the beauty comes from. That's when real art is made, when you're in that hole. And so what he decided to do is he decided to start a film fund called Ashes to Films. And what they're doing is they are giving grants to filmmakers and people who were affected by the fires. People who were displaced, people who maybe an actor who lost their house, or maybe a composer or a director or a cinematographer who doesn't have gear, and they've gotten these grants. And Quixote Studios donated sound stages to some of these people as they were creating these films.
Oh, that's great.
And so now the goal is to, a year after all that happened, to have a film festival, the Ashes to Film Festival, a literal year after all this stuff happened, to showcase all these incredible people and understand what like creative resilience looks like and creative recovery looks like. And being able to foster people in that thing. So once I found out that he was doing that, I just wanted to help. And I just recently jumped on as, like, they call me their story ambassador. So I'll go to some sets. I'm going to one tomorrow, actually. And I'm going to catch up with some people and film their process and ask them about their, like, what happened and where they're at and all of that. It's insanely inspiring.
That's
to
super
see.
I love that you said creative resilience.
That's brilliant.
That's really powerful.
It's incredible, man. And honestly, like the last one that I went to blew my mind. It was, the actress is Kristen O'Mara. She's been in a bunch of commercials, been on a bunch of TV. She's great. She lost her house in Altadena, and she was shooting on the lot where her house was.
Is this the brown-haired woman that you posted?
I just recently. Yeah. So, and like they have an RV that's like on their lot, and they basically created a story around what was going on, and they're shooting it there. And to, like, for me, driving up, and seeing everything that's not there anymore, and then pulling up to a literal empty lot with a film crew on it. Like, and these are all people who are donating their time and donating, like, whatever they can to make sure that these stories get told. And it's just, it's not just adults, it's children too. And like, what I found so interesting is that a lot of the children who were affected, who were given grants, they were able to shoot on some backlots, and the donated stuff would really get a chance to put their stuff out there. But all of them found this from their parents, and their parents are people who were affected. Yeah. And yet they're still looking for a way for their child to have something to do, whether they're creative or not, right? And so these parents are like, you should submit to this. You should submit to this. That's all of their stories. You should submit to this. And they did. And they got a grant. And now they're shooting something.
That's incredible.
And it's truly incredible. It's one of the most fulfilling things that I could possibly imagine being a part of when it comes to the film industry.
Yeah, I didn't, until you started posting about it, I had never even heard about this. And it's so genius. And it's just, at a time when our industry is like, it's like, okay, there were the strikes, and then there were more strikes, and then there were more strikes, and then there was COVID, and there was
fire,
and there's AI, and there's
so many things,
and nothing's shooting, and everything leaves LA, and then the city burns down. And you're like, what? What? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
What a great thing.
Yeah.
And also too, what a, like, we were talking about it before we got started, and I'll try not to go on a fucking Tyler tangent. Tyler Tangent Tackett. That's where the name came from. Stupid. art is one self-expression, but the beautiful thing about art, whether it's music, film, poetry, you name it, food, culinary, whatever, it's meant to bring people together. In a lot of ways, maybe even people that wouldn't necessarily be together. You know, like the cool thing about going to a movie theater is everyone in that movie theater has different life experience. They may have different religious or political views, you know, X, Y, and Z, different things they're going to. But for that 2 hours or so that they're in there together, we're all laughing at the same stuff.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you walk out of the theater and you go to the bathroom and there's someone in the bathroom, you know, washing their hands next to you. And you're like, oh, dude, remember that part? And they, oh, that was crazy. What do you do? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And in a world where, especially in entertainment, it's all about how do I either take what's trending, you know, take someone else's shit and like use it to build myself. It feels like the content world, the content farming kind of mindset that all of us are in, or a lot of people are in this industry, is a very solo thing, or it's a very use others type of thing. How do I? You talk to people out here, it's like people you talk to like always want something from you to push their own kind of career or whatever. But doing something like this is such a reminder of how art is meant to bring people together.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, to take this tragedy and to make something beautiful out of it. It's in the name, right? Ashes to film. You know, the phoenix rises from the ashes.
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to be. You think about like even in like, and maybe this is a shitty example, but even like in war times when countries are prepping, what do? They, you know, you'll listen to the radio and the music is a certain way, or, you know, just the way that it all affects us and brings us all together.
How tragedy.
Yeah. Thank you. Like how tragedy will kind of like, it can destroy us, or I'll find a way to bring us together and make something beautiful out of it. And that's literally what you guys stand for. That is so powerful. So when you say film festivals, they're actually going to do like a proper like festival where the films will be like showcased and stuff. Have you guys put one out yet, or is this?
No, this is it's the inaugural one. It happened a year later.
Yeah. So when is it?
So I think the dates are going to be from when the fire started. So I want to say it's from the 7th to the 10th, or from the like around those dates of January.
Oh, January.
Yeah, January.
I was trying to remember. So that was this year.
Yeah, it was this year. That's what I mean. It feels like it wasn't. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy. And
People
to think that these
on.
people are doing all this stuff within a year.
Yeah.
And able to.
That's crazy.
I mean, this woman lost her home and is now shooting a short film on her lot, literally during the worst year of her life. Like that's.
Yeah.
What's more inspiring?
It's not just the home. It's everything.
Oh yeah, everything.
Because there's nowhere to go. You can't take everything. Like it's just.
Oof. And just like seeing how these people are resilient in wanting to continue to tell stories. Yeah. Like I could imagine, just put yourself in that scenario.
Yeah.
You lose your
house.
house.
Go be funny.
Yeah. Like you lose your house, you lose all of your memories, you lose all these different things, and then everything else that could happen after that, and you still find a will to want to tell a story about it, or tell a story that's involved in it, or whatever it is. It's just the most inspiring thing ever. Yeah.
To build
That's
something,
incredible.
build soming from nothing.
Yes. That's truly incredible.
That is literally the definition of creativity, right?
Yeah.
We as humans are creators.
Yeah.
And that is literally the definition of it, what you guys are doing. That is so awesome, man.
And you know what too? Like there's all this talk about like, oh, well, you're in the industry, nobody helps each other, nobody's nobody's doing this, nobody's doing that. Like you can't get anyone to give you money, this and that. Like, yes, some of that is true, but like by me, even just for the short amount of time that I've been involved with what they're doing, seeing all of these people just donate their time and donate, like, because we all want to be working.
Yeah.
That's it. We all want to be working. We want to be telling stories. We want to be working on things that we're excited of or proud of. And this is just proof that the community of filmmakers, the community of artists that exists here is bigger than what the media says it is.
Absolutely.
And it's bigger than what social media says about it.
Yeah.
And it's more personal than people think it is. And I think I love that so much.
Representation of what it should be, man.
Yeah.
What it should be. So Ashes to Film.
Ashes to Films, yeah.
Early January. And it's going to be here in LA.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll add our tags and we'll put them all. Go into the description for all the links, you guys.
Yeah, and we'll throw some on. You guys have a website and stuff.
Yeah, there's some stuff up there. Yeah,
we're gonna throw it on the screen down in the down at the bottom.
And if you have clips, like if you have some stuff that you want to show, like any behind the scenes of when you go interview people, whatever, you know, send them our way.
Definitely will.
Support. This is beautiful, beautiful thing. And what a good way to, because LA does feel kind of broken these days.
Yeah.
And what a good way to start the year and show like, no, we built this, we can build it again.
Yeah.
And maybe even stronger.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Dude, this has been so much fucking fun.
Oh, thank you guys.
I know you guys have known each other, but we just got met. I feel like I've known you forever, dude. And this will not be the last time that we run into it. I love your outlook on everything. What an inspiring guy, and I'm just truly stoked that you're here, man.
I'm honored you guys asked me to be here. Seriously,
hell
thank you.
yeah, dude. Since we decided to do a podcast, and we were like, let's interview journeyman actors, you know, and I have so many friends that are actors, and some of them are journeymen, but some of them not. Yeah. And it's like, I don't really know what we would talk about on a podcast.
Sure.
But you popped into my head and I was like, dude, absolutely. So I think it was like a year ago, I reached out, was like, hey, we're going to do this podcast. Would you want to be on it?
Yeah.
So, so glad, full circle moment, you know?
Genuinely happy to be here.
Yeah.
Both of you guys, thank you so much.
Guys. All right, team. Well, listen, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that little notification bell down at the bottom so you can stay up to date at all the videos. And don't forget, everybody, that if you do subscribe to the channel, you'll get a little link in your email that will be a private link to our OnlyFans. That's right. But do us a favor. If you don't actually get that link sent to your email, comment down below and let us know. That way we can make sure to get it over to you.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to let the people know?
No, love you guys. Do you want to shout out some of your socials and things?
Yes,
Oh, sure.
They can find you.
Yeah, socials basically all. It's at the Evan Sloan, TheEvanSloan. I've got a feature coming out called Water Rights, written and directed and edited by Dean Jacobs, incredible talent, up and coming. And then, of course, Ashes to Films. Go find it, go support it, and be a part of the movement.
Absolutely, man.
This
Hell
has
yeah.
been so much fun, buddy.
It's so much fun.
So proud of you, by the way.
Appreciate
so proud
of you. Likewise.
Thank you.
Seriously, likewise. You've come a long way.
Yeah.
Hell or high water. Son of a bitch, we're still here. Some might even say, no matter what happens, ever forward.
You hungry?
I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Well, that's over with.
Hey, I'm Evan. I'm a filmmaker here in Los Angeles, and I'm also the story ambassador for Ashes to Films. Today, I'm going to be visiting a set over in Altadena, an area that was heavily affected by the wildfires that hit Los Angeles just under a year ago, to get a sneak peek at one of our shorts that's currently filming. I'm about to go meet the star. How's it going?
I am Kristen O'Meara, and my film is called Eaten Alive. We are on day 2, which is a freaking miracle that we got here because it took a whole village and then some. We had pouring rain. Our outdoor exteriors turned into a mud pit. And then we had to do my worst nightmare, which was to try to find crew and actors to work midweek. I just stood on the Quixote donated soundstage, staring at all of the crew and the cast, just in kind of shock and a lot of awe that this all kind of came together and all of these people are doing this out of the graciousness of their hearts and half of them working on donated time. So yeah, it's been crazy and everyone has been amazing. The mood on set is fantastic. Shiloh and his organization basically kind of showed me that by having a creative outlet, it's been, I think, really necessary for my mental health to have something else to focus on.
It's been raw for us this year, and it brought her back to life. And it brought so much joy to her to be able to find that way to express through comedy her pain. And this has been the most beautiful experience for her, and to watch her come out of what we've been going through and to literally find that lifeline that's given her the hope through everything we've been through this year. It's just been the most magical thing to watch happen to her.